Hi guys, Charlie Tango 1 coming at you again with a bit of a review on this excuse me, repair that I done on this little 8-hour stove. It's for a gentleman named Paul up in Scotland, and he sent it down to me, and he says, I've had this for years, he says, and it's my good old favourite. He says, I don't want to part with it, so can you have a look at it for me? I've got a few issues with it. He did explain them, and I sent it off to him, and I wasn't happy with it, nor was he. I said, look Paul, send it to me, send it back to me, let's get on top of this. And I found out what basically was the main cause of it, and it's I need a pointer. It's this little thing here. That little thing there is a carbon ring. So graphite ring, sorry, graphite ring. And they use a rubber one. Mainly the Russians and Bulgarians, Ukrainians, it's a rubber one in there. And every time one comes over, and I've had it happen with me, I've got a few now, in the lid where the spanner is, they got a dear little bit of polythene, and wrapped in it is one of these rubbers to replace this if it goes. Well, what happens is they get a bit perished with the fuel, and they really blacken up the the tube that this spindle runs up. So what I've decided to do, I stripped it down, and he'd only fired it up once to see how it went when he got it back, and I couldn't believe when he sent it back to me, the amount of muck and rubber that had come out of that tube just from one burn up. I couldn't believe. I thought, God almighty, no wonder it keeps getting jammed up and etc. So as I said, his jet and everything was fine, but this time I've done something a little bit different. I couldn't get his the tube off of the tank earlier on because they used that red thread lock. Now, a lot of engineers use that, and when I was in the engineering, they always had a little bottle of that. But the red one is the really strong one, you know. But the blue one is half the strength, so it locks it, stops it vibrating loose, anything like that. Fine. So why do you want the heavy duty one? So that's what I use, and it don't take much effort just to crack the nut open. So anyway, this is the one I use. I did do a long video, but I thought it was too long, so I deleted it. This is the one I use, oh, it lasts me ages. You know, dear little bit on there, but the nut on it, I'll turn it round in a minute and explain it to you, but we go back to this. Once I got that off of the tank, this little piece of crepe bandage here, can you see it? No, you can't. Here it is. Let's put it here. You see that now? That dear little crepe bandage, I'll put it in my hand so it'll give you some sort of idea of the size. That was what was in there as the wick, and it just wasn't sucking up the fuel. So this time I've managed to get that nut off, and because they use that strong Loctite, I have to take everything off of the burner, the priming bowl, the bell, the flame spreader. So all you're left with basically is just the vaporising unit, and you can just get that nut that is on the back of the tank. You can just get that in the very side of the vice, right on the very end, and you can nip that up and then turn the tank. Don't try and turn that nut with a spanner, you'll round it off. Even though it's a good fit, it will round that nut off. So I clamp it in the vice and gently turn the tank. You can turn it a dear little bit as if you're tightening it, and then you can crack it open the other way. Once it's open, I'll clean the thread out, but you've got to be careful because you can twist that tube otherwise if it's too tight. Because it's a tapered thread, you don't really need that Loctite. I never used it when I replaced this. I took it off, I put, where are we, better get it, hadn't I? Here we go again. Where are we? Here we are, down here. Got to get a bit, haven't I? Let's take a bit off so we know we got it. Oh, there we go. This here, oh, I'll telephoto the camera back out in a minute. This is what I use, and I'll show you the full length of it in a minute. But I don't use the full length, I use half that length, it's more than enough. Right, so going back to this, having sold that, this is the spindle, and what tends to happen is when you've got this little pricker going up and down on these teeth, when you're setting, it's usually about 3 clicks down. That's what I've done on this one, and it works fine, and it shuts the fuel off as well without this pricker bottoming on the tubing. So that's, having done that, what I noticed on the one he had, and I've replaced it, which is this one, the teeth were damaged, and they was damaged on the other one, on the one he had. Well, this is one I took off from another stove, and I'll bring it into the camera shot in a minute and show you the damage that has been caused on a previous one. Now, and I hope you can see this. Let's put it up and see if I can keep it still. The tooth on the very top is, I might be too close now. Where's my fingers? There we are. Oh, here we go. See that very top one? Damaged. And the one to the side of it as well. So, see it there? I'll just do it. I'm just making sure you can see it. See it damaged on the top? Well, that's what happens to them when someone tries to force it down too hard. And what's happened is they've tried to shut the valve off, this valve here, into the tube, but the pricker on the bottom here has bottomed. So of course they've still tried to do it, and that's how you damage the teeth on that. Also, people do turn them off anti-clockwise by that needle being shoved up through the jet. Well, it's not turning off the fuel. It might block it, and it might put the stove out, but it certainly doesn't turn the fuel off. You must turn these spindles clockwise to turn them off, so that this piece here, the pointed bit, sits in the seating within the tube. So that's an example. It can't be used, it can't be repaired, so it's only fit for the rubbish bin now. Right, now having said that, I put the spindle on, and then you've got this washer. Now this washer is dished, and I could take that off and show you that as well, just so you understand. Get off. Right. Let's use a bit of paper so you can see. That's the, I've got to find myself now, hang on. There we are, that's the dish one, can you see it? Dish there? The other way it's flat. Now that dish side, which is the top, that has to be facing this nut. It has to face this nut. There's the dish piece. This side is flat. Then once you put that on, like so, you can see it there dished again now. See it? That goes on there. Then you get your what's the name, your graphite ring, and you put that on there like so. Now, some people, or some of these, you might find a washer on there. Sorry, you might find a washer on there. You don't really need it because this, as you can see again, this is dished as well. You see it? Let's get it right. I'll get there in a minute. There we go, dished. That's dished as well, see? Now that goes against that graphite, like so. And there you have the complete job. Okay, all done. Right, and that's how it all goes together. It's quite simple really, but it can be temperamental. Anyway, these are just parts that I've used. I've dug these out from my bags, my spares and that have you, so that you can see for yourself what it's like. But that one is no good. It's just for demo purposes. Right, now once I've done all that, I've put it all back. I've tightened up the spindle nut. I've tightened that all up. That's all done now. And then what I've done is which way am I going? This way? Then turned this round. I thought, well, his little cap, his little flame spreader was, I polished it up, but it was really, it's the wrong one. I don't know who put it on there, but it was the wrong one. But what I've found is a lot of these people, I'm sorry to say, but it's a fact, when they decide, oh, they want to get rid of these, any Optimus stoves they get, which has got a brass tank, they keep them and they chuck these Russian ones in these tins. Well, the proper Optimus tin has got Optimus stamped in it. It's stamped with like a clicker, on a clicker, so it forms the shape of the Optimus badge and the name, etc. And they're usually a light blue or light green. And they swap and change them about. So you think you're getting the Optimus 8R, and you're not. It's a copy of Optimus 8R, and at first I thought, well, I don't like the idea of that, but they're good. I have found that they are good, but you must change this wick. You have to change that wick because that's all they use. But then over there, I think money's a bit tight and everything else, like, you know. So when they put them up for sale, obviously what they're selling them for, I mean, it's loads of money to them, isn't it? Compared, you know, I mean, these started off at about 30 or 40 pounds, these stoves over there, the copies. But they're up with the competitors now, with the proper Optimus, 100 and something quid a time. You'll be lucky if you get one of these for less than 80 quid. Very lucky. Anyway, I've cleaned all this bell housing up and everything else for you, Paul. So it's all done now. And I did manage to find another flame spreader. I have got one there, and I've got a spare one in there now. So, but that is it. and they are, as I say, they're not cheap. Oh, I suppose it would be handy if I brought it in focus, wouldn't it? Hang on, let me take this back out now. Oh, wrong way. Do it again, a bit more. There we go. This is what they're like now. So I polish it back. Once I've done a burns test on it, I polished it all up and fixed this new flame spreader on it. And that's, I'm not going to fire it up again. I've emptied the tank, ready to send it back to you, Paul. So everything's done. I've done new pipet in there. You've got the graphite in the spindle. You got and you got the disc washer. That's all in there. I polished up this. It was in a state, but the trouble is, as soon as you light that up, you're going to lose all that shine and prettiness, and doesn't it look nice? All goes. Sorry to say, but hey, you know, it's a burner. It's supposed to serve a purpose, and that's what it does. So, and this is the stuff I used. Have a mop. Now I cut that in half. The times you got that in half again, I take one strand out of there, one strand, and then that's it. That leaves me with 4, I think it is, which is fine, or even 3, it's fine, because you won't get it up in that spindle otherwise. But that's the length you got. The times you fold that in half, you still got a nice bit of wicking. So that's what I use anyway, and I find it does the job fine. If you buy the kit, an 8R kit, you get that. You can get that. This is for the 8R. Comes with that, comes out like that. But they are a bit expensive, that's the main thing. But I think you get the washer for the tank cap, you get a pipet to go in there, and you get your wick, that's already got the brass gauze on it, and a jet. So that's how it comes as a kit. So I mean, saying that, they're not mega money like, but you know, if it's not running right, you know, just for the sake of a few quid, you know, might as well get it done. Anyway, I'm not going to harp on anymore, because you know I all rabbit, don't I? But so there it is, Paul. I'll send all this up to you Monday morning. Put it in there, and I'll put a dear little bit of, where are we? Little leather, a little tiny bit of leather there. And what I've done with that is I've put it in your lid, because you can't push that clip down. So I put it in your lid to hold your spanner in there. So now it'll stay there. Alright, it's silly little things like that, isn't it, that to me matter. Alright, so without further ado, I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for all you people that's watched. Like and subscribe, hit the button and the bell and everything else, like, you know, I know a lot of my videos have been about stoves just lately, but because of this COVID lockdown and everything else, they've just lifted it. I'm gradually getting my leather work picking up a bit now. Lady wanted a flat leather collar for her dog. Another lady wanted a Labrador, a round collar, you know, a slip training lead. So